you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, welcome to this Friday edition of Good Morning Fort Sill as we round out the work week.
It is Friday. We've got some great stories today, but first we're going to go ahead and pass it over to Michael Amanqua in the weather along the weather wall there to see what's the forecast looking like today, Michael.
Well, it's going to be a hot day today with high pressure really taking over right now. Looking at satellite and radar, we can see pretty clear skies across the area. There are a few mid to high level clouds in the area. You got to zoom out and you can kind of get that clockwise rotation. High pressure will continue to set itself sharp closer to our area and over our sphere of influence. We do have heat advisories for today, and it will be until from noon to around 8 p.m. today, and heat index values could be as high as around 107. So something to keep in mind. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water and take breaks outdoors. This especially if you're a kid going up to the bus stop to and from school. Just make sure you keep that in mind walking to and from home. Right now in Altus, pretty clear right now. Nothing much going on there. But as we look at our almanac, we did have a high yesterday of 98 degrees, which is around average for this time of year of close to 97, which is our average. And we had average low of around 70 degrees. So average temperatures. And elsewhere we had 98 in Chickasha, down to 97 in Duncan as well, 96 in Wichita Falls, and 103 in Vernon.
Well, all eyes are on the last frontier today as President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are set to meet in Alaska to discuss ending the conflict in Ukraine.
President Trump has promised severe consequences if Putin refuses to make a deal. But as ABC's Nicole D'Antonio reports, leaving Anchorage empty-handed is a real possibility.
This morning, President Trump scheduled to meet with Vladimir Putin on U.S. soil. The leader is set to meet on a U.S. military base in Anchorage, Alaska, expected to discuss terms for ending Russia's invasion of Ukraine, along with nuclear arms control and trade agreements.
I think that President Putin would like to see a deal. I think if I weren't president, he would take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me.
Putin is praising Trump's, quote, energetic and sincere efforts to stop the hostilities. Ukrainian President Zelensky was not invited to today's summit. President Trump suggesting the meeting with Putin could open the door for a second meeting that would include Zelensky.
I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along. And if they can, it'll be great.
Still, President Trump admitted yesterday he thinks there's a 25% chance they'll leave the summit with no deal. Meanwhile, across Anchorage, Alaska, protesters seen waving Ukrainian flags and holding signs that say Alaska stands with Ukraine.
I have no hope it's going to solve anything. I am afraid that Trump is going to try to commit to something which he has no right to commit to.
Russia invaded Ukraine and they need to leave. There's nothing to negotiate.
Now, Putin is bringing his financial minister with him to the summit. Experts believe he will likely offer economic incentives in exchange for Trump agreeing to lift U.S. sanctions on Russia. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Well, the 434th Field Artillery Brigade on Fort Sill is hosting a basic combat training graduation today, as they do most Fridays. Approximately 500 trainees from Gulf Battery 1st Battalion 22nd Field Artillery Regiment and Bravo Battery of 1st Battalion 79th Field Artillery Regiment will be the newest soldiers to join the U.S. Army.
Both batteries are also honoring 2 soldiers as distinguished honor graduates. Private First Class Sydney Mangeson of Nellisville, Wisconsin, will be serving as an intelligence analyst in the Army Reserve. She's joined by Private Second Class Jiho Kim from Katy, Texas, who will be serving as an Army combat medic in the National Guard.
Gulf 122's graduation is at 9 a.m. Bravo 179's at 11 a.m. both at Cache Creek Chapel Complex. We want to welcome all the family and friends of those graduates to Lawton Fort Sill. The event will be live streamed on the 434th Field Artillery Brigade's Facebook page if you can't attend in person. Congrats to all those graduates. Well, every week the USO Oklahoma welcomes basic combat trainees for a bit of respite from their busy schedules. 7 News reporter Skylar Teddington met with trainees at the facility to see what it has to offer and why soldiers look forward to the visit.
Each week, USO Oklahoma hosts basic combat training soldiers in week 7 of their training. It's an opportunity for brand new soldiers to learn about the USO and what it provides to service members and their families. This week, the USO hosted trainees from Echo Battery 179th Field Artillery Battalion. The USO provides a wide range of services,
7,000 square foot facility,
like darts, snacks, pool tables, the latest video games, and so much more, so soldiers were excited to learn about and use the facility.
I'm looking forward just for the free time because we get a lot of personal time, but not this type of personal time with our phone and hanging out and just talking.
These soldiers come from all over the United States. Some of them even shared why they chose to serve.
I am from Van Nuys, LA, California. My brother really inspired me, and I wanted to have a future where I can help my family and my girlfriend back at home, things like that, just to set me up for the future.
Honestly, my sister, I just watched her journey, and she got a lot of her college paid for, and becoming a nurse, I think that's going to be really expensive, so getting that paid for, and also she went active after going National Guard, and all her duty stations were really pretty, and I'm really hoping for the same.
In the end, the USO is about serving those who serve, and staff members say they love what they do.
Well, it's very meaningful. Everything that we do at the USO impacts someone serving or their family member serving the country, and so there's real purpose in that.
And trainees there had some advice for people looking to serve themselves.
The best advice I would give would be to watch some videos. I know TikTok might be a little controversial, but sometimes they do have really good information, but also just look into all of the benefits that the Army gives to you.
Basic training is what you make out of it. It can be hard and have its ups and downs, but just keep up your dedication, what you have back at home, your inspiration, and just keep going strong and finish it through.
Reporting for 7 News, I'm Skylar Teddington.
So Kyle, I was actually on the installation with Skylar yesterday, and I absolutely love meeting with new soldiers. It really just breathes a little breath of fresh air. Our country is in good hands because we've got a lot of young folks that are stepping up.
And the USO does so many great things.
They
to
do
help
some
them get
amazing stuff. Yeah, so we are going to cover some more stories about the USO, what they do for service members and their families over the coming weeks. Well, the All-Army softball team, so sports here, Kyle. They took on Goodyear's finest sluggers last night at the Goodyear softball field in Lawton.
The night opened with a home run derby followed by a women's game and a men's game. It's the 10th year the two sides have gone head-to-head on the softball diamond.
So we enjoy the camaraderie. We enjoy getting together with the Lawton Fort Sill community and actually making this a big family event.
It's a good tune-up for the All-Army softball team, which will compete in the Armed Forces tournament next week in Oklahoma City. They're hoping the Lawton Fort Sill community will make the trip up to Devon Park to cheer them on.
And we've been talking about this week. So Fort Sill MWR is inviting everyone to join them at Lake Elmer Thomas Recreation Area for the Alien 8K run tomorrow evening. It kicks off at 8 p.m. and it's an evening of extraterrestrial themed fun. Participants can either run, walk, or ruck. Note the race packages themselves, so t-shirts, bibs, are all sold out, but you can absolutely still participate in the run for free. You just got to show up.
Well, members of the Altus Air Force Base First Sergeants Council and other senior enlisted leaders recently took on the Altus High School volleyball team in a friendly volleyball match.
That's right. It was all for a good cause as proceeds went to support the Altus Volleyball Booster Club. The event was also a chance for members of the community to come together with personnel from Altus Air Force Base.
Ultimately, though, the Lady Bulldogs were able to edge out the Airmen in a tough 3-set match, winning that deciding third set 26-24. And Altus Air Force Base is inviting the community to show off their softball skills this month at their co-ed softball tournament. It'll be held August 23rd. Each team must pay a $200 registration fee. You have until Sunday to sign up. For more information, contact the number on your screen. The military is opening multiple new production facilities across the country. When Good Morning Fort Sill returns, we'll take a look at how they will be enhancing the military's defense capabilities.
Get ready for your day with the First Alert 7 app.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are. Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
So if you have stepped outside this morning, or this early portion of the morning, you can see our temperatures are a little bit warmer than we were this time yesterday. We're sitting at 78 in Lawton and in Wichita Falls, 80 degrees in Anadarko, 81 in Hobart, 76 in Frederick, 79 in Vernon, currently 75 degrees in Chickasha. And as you take a look at our 24-hour change, we're anywhere between 2 to 6 degrees above where we were this time yesterday. So our ridge of high pressure has a more sphere of influence across the area. And with that said, that has caused our temperatures to be a little bit warmer. And taking a look at our current dew points, we're in the upper 60s and lower 70s across the area. Few more to low 70s, so it is definitely muggy this morning. Just another muggy morning. And our 24-hour temperature dew point change anywhere between 2 to 3 degrees above average from what we saw this time yesterday. So it definitely is humid out there, and our current wind speeds are gently coming out of the southeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at the upper levels, our center portion of high pressure is still in Mexico, but its sphere's influence is pretty much across Texas and a big chunk of Oklahoma. So that will continue to be the case heading towards this weekend, and that will continue to increase our temperatures. We may hit 100 degrees today. We do have the tropics that are starting to get active. We do have Invest 98L, and it is forecasted to make its way towards between the Texas border to the Mexican border today and kind of make landfall there. That will give some tropical activity over there. And then we do have Tropical Storm Aaron that will continue to strengthen into about a Category 2 to Category 3 hurricane as it heads towards the western portions of the Atlantic. And we continue to have moisture streaming in across the Gulf of Mexico into portions of Texoma.
Well, General Dynamics Ordnance and Tactical Systems has opened a new facility in Camden, Arkansas to expand the Army's production of the M795 artillery projectile.
So as an artilleryman, I always like stories like this because it's about artillery. So the site partially opened for business in April. The construction of the facility was designed to significantly boost the military's production of artillery munitions like the M795, which is the standard 155 millimeter high explosives projectile that's used by both the U.S. Army and the Marines in their howitzers.
Now, this new facility will focus on the final stage of artillery shell production, where the metal bodies of 155 millimeter projectiles are filled with explosives, assembled, and then packed for shipment. When fully operational, the new facility will produce 50,000 completed projectiles per month.
So real quick on that particular piece, so like the 155 millimeter howitzer system, so it's considered a multi-part, or the projectile itself is just one piece of it, right? You got the fuse, you get the projectile, which is what that facility will make. You got propellant, and then you have the actual primer too. So good for the Army to continue moving forward with that. But next, also involved in the artillery, the Army has reached a major milestone for their autonomous multi-domain launcher, a possible replacement for existing Army launchers.
The AML has transitioned to the Rapid Capabilities and Critical Technologies Office in Alabama, also called RICTO, marking the next step in its journey towards fielding. With the transition comes a new name, though, the Common Autonomous Multi-Domain Launcher, or CAML, which reflects the system's long-range capabilities.
So Kyle, this is pretty cool. So obviously Fort Sill, home of the Fire Center of Excellence, basically the proponents for field artillery and air defense artillery. So the Long Range Precision Fires Cross-Functional Team, which is here, part of Army Futures Command, they've been working on this technology for a while. Think of a Tesla self-driving car, but it's a self-driving multiple launch rocket system, basically what it is. Using machine learning, AI, it's a future of the battlefield right there with reference to rockets and missiles.
Just trying to make things more automated, right?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Well, Lockheed Martin is building a 88,000 square foot missile assembly building in Cortland, Alabama.
And that building is expected to open next year and will help advance defense systems in the military. Lockheed Martin says the area already supports critical defense programs for the Army, Navy, and Missile Defense Agency. The new building will augment the current workforce when it's completed.
A spokesperson with the company says that they are defining what the future of missile defense looks like. And a powerful Vulcan rocket launched earlier this week from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. The Vulcan's 4 solid rocket boosters separated 90 seconds after liftoff, followed by the first stage separation a few minutes later.
Now, the upper stage went on to deploy the payload into orbit on the 7-hour journey spanning over 22,000 miles on board 2 national security satellites for the U.S. military.
It will carry out tests of upgraded atomic clocks and navigation technology that could lead to more accurate jam-proof GPS-type data for military and commercial users. It's the Pentagon's first experimental navigation satellite to be launched in nearly 50 years.
And today in military history, on August 15th, 1945, Japan signaled its intention to surrender after the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Emperor Hirohito made the announcement to the Japanese people on the radio. The announcement effectively ended World War II. The UK celebrates Victory over Japan Day on August 15th.
However, here in the U.S., VJ Day is actually September 2nd, which is the day the formal surrender documents were signed aboard the USS Missouri.
A former Major General with the Utah National Guard has been demoted and forced to retire following an investigation. Find out why next on Good Morning Fort Sill.
Get ready for your day with the First Alert 7 app.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are.
A former 2-star general in the National Guard has been demoted to lieutenant colonel and forced to retire after investigators found that he had an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate.
So Major General Michael Turley of the Utah National Guard was placed on administrative leave 2 years ago while the investigation played out. A spokesperson with the Army says Turley will be retiring as a lieutenant colonel because it was the last grade in which he honorably served. The Army has since closed that matter. Well, Swiss lawmakers are urging the government to re-examine the purchase of Lockheed Martin's F-35 Joint Strike Fighter after President Trump slapped a 39% tariff on goods from Switzerland.
Now, Switzerland is acquiring 36 F-35As as part of a modernization of its Air Force. Switzerland joins a growing number of European countries where lawmakers are now questioning the reliance of the U.S. as a defense and trade partner.
Earlier this week, the Spanish government confirmed that it was no longer looking at the F-35 for its Air Force modernization and would spend that money in Europe instead. Well,
service members from the Peacekeeping Brigade of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Armenia, U.S. Army Europe and Africa, and the Kansas National Guard have begun a joint exercise called Eagle Partner 2025.
That's right. The exercise will run through August 20th in Armenia, according to a press release from the U.S. Embassy in Armenia. The purpose of the exercise is to, quote, enhance the interoperability of units participating in international peacekeeping missions, exchange best practices and control and tactical communications, and improve the readiness of the peacekeeping unit of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Armenia.
See, so when we started this show, I didn't know a ton about some of these operations. I find it kind of fascinating just how often we do these kind of joint operations.
So look, Kyle, I mean, obviously, I'm partial a little bit, but the United States military is the biggest and best in the world. But we've known and we've seen, you know, future conflicts. We can't go it alone. So we do these exercises like this particular exercise, Eagle Partner 2025, is extremely important. We do a number of them every year with multiple, global partners, and they're vital to, I think, the future of warfare moving forward.
Well, a veteran in South Carolina was gifted a refurbished car after recent financial setbacks.
So Michael Lounsbury was given the vehicle as part of the National Auto Body Council's Recycled Rides program. So this is pretty cool. So they've donated over 600 vehicles to military service members, veterans, and other individuals in need of reliable transportation. Lounsbury says that the gift comes at the perfect time for he and his family.
Well, I currently don't have a vehicle. I'm currently driving my fiance, so it'll be able to help with everything. I mean, everything. So with my son, with my fiance, I just started back at school yesterday full time, so it'll be able to help me really do everything.
Here's your first alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
And it's currently 78 degrees at Fort Sill, and over the next few hours, we'll be still in the mid-70s, and then we'll be into the lower 80s by the time we get to around 9 to 10 a.m. this morning. And our future track showing that we will continue to increase clouds today. As you go into your Saturday morning, we'll continue to have partly to mostly cloudy skies in the area, and then as you go to much of your Saturday, it will be hot, but not as hot as today, because we have some of that cloud cover to talk about, and that will limit how hot we will get normally for this time of year. Going into your Sunday, we may keep rain chances around 20% with partly cloudy skies, but then as you go into your Monday, I've bumped rain chances up to 30%, especially across our northern counties, and that's where we can see the best chance of showers and storms, and then we'll repeat the same thing for your Tuesday, as we have more rain chances possible at around 30%. Heat advisories are issued for today, so that's why our if you look at our feel-like temperatures, you're going to feel like 104 in Frederick, 106 in Lawton, 105 across the area. Generally, 105 to 110 will be the feel-like temperatures today. Tomorrow, I don't expect heat advisories to be issued, as our feel-like temperatures will just be around the upper 90s and lower 100s across the area. And today, a high temperature officially of 100 today for the Lawton area with partly cloudy skies and southeast winds of 5 to 15. 74 for tonight's temperature, down to with partly cloudy skies and winds at the southeast at around 0 to 5. And then tomorrow, a high of 97 degrees with southeast winds at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. And taking a look at that 7-day forecast, we continue to have rain chances bumped up into early next week before a cold front arrives sometime next week, cooling us off a little bit.
Finally, back to the triple digits after what's been a fairly decent week.
I mean, I've been enjoying that, though, at least.
Well, thanks for watching Good Morning Fort Sill.